Good morning, children. Today we will discuss about the same topic, the minerals and energy resources. The previous class we have discussed about non-ferrous metals. Previous class we have discussed about non-ferrous metals, that is copper as well as bauxite. Copper and bauxite, and the second one is non-metallic metals. We discussed, that is mica and limestone. Do you remember non-metallic metals? We discussed about mica and limestone. Then we discussed about conservation of minerals by following two methods. One is the recycling method, and third one is use of scrap materials. Today, children, in this class we'll discuss about energy resources. We'll continue with the energy resources. As you know, energy is required to do any work, any sort of work. We need energy. Without energy, we cannot perform any activity. Energy gives strength. It helps to run industries. Energy gives to drive vehicles. The vehicles, motors, industries, etc. So here, energies can classify into different ways. You can classify this energy into two ways. One is the conventional source of energy. One is conventional source of energy. One is conventional source of energy. And second one is non-conventional source of energy. One is conventional source of energy and second is non-conventional source of energy. Children, if you take the first one, that is conventional source of energy. Example, firewood, cow dung, firewood, cow dung, coal, petroleum, electricity. If you take electricity, here both ideal electricity and thermal electricity. Electricity means here both ideal energy and thermal energy. These all can be treated as a conventional source of energy. So, the examples for the conventional source of energy: firewood, cow dung, coal, petroleum, electricity. Electricity means both, either it is hydroelectricity or thermal electricity. These all can be treated as a conventional source of energy. And the second one is, that is non-conventional source of energy, includes the non-conventional source of energy includes solar energy, wind energy, tidal energy, nuclear energy, geothermal energy, and biogas. So these can be treated as a non-conventional source of energy. So these all can be treated as examples of non-conventional source of energy. Non-conventional source of energy are solar energy, wind energy, tidal energy, geothermal, biogas, tidal and even nuclear energy. This all can be treated as a non-conventional source of energy. So energy is very important, especially to drive the vehicles, to run the industries. In industrial field, without electricity, we cannot run industries. It's very important. Take first one is, let us take from energy sources, conventional source of energy. First we will deal with the conventional source of energy, which includes, first one is firewood, yes. Next one you take is a coal, of course, firewood. Next, cow dung. Of course, cow dung is very nowadays it becomes very shortage, because this valuable manure maximum can be consumed in the agriculture sector. Maximum consumed in the agriculture sector. To take as a coal, of course, this can be formed decomposition of the waste materials. Swamps, leaves, decomposed materials. By formation of rocks, coal will be formed. It takes millions of years to form a coal. Millions, almost all 200 millions years it takes formation of this coal. This coal around the Gondwana land, around the millions of years ago, coal has formed around the Gondwana land. Earlier it is only single land, it is a single piece. Millions of years ago, Gondwana land is a single piece, and it has been split into different pieces due to plate tectonics. So each piece has named into different names. That is how present continents have been formed long back. Europe, North America, South America, Africa, Australia, and so on. So this coal, if you take this coal, yes, it is use energy. It possesses heat and light, and it drives to run the various motors and vehicles, and even it will be used in the industries. Even you can use in the daily domestic life also. It is a light materials. The using of this coal becomes very light and it reduces its quantity. It becomes ash. Coal. So here the coal generally can be classified into 4 types. One is types of coal. One is peat. P-E-A-T. Anthracite. These are the 4 types of coal. 4 types of coal. The first one is peat. The second one is lignite. L-I-G-N-I-T, lignite. And third one is bituminous. And fourth one is anthracite. These are the 4 different types of coals. If you take the first one is peat. Peat is a very low grade coal. Peat is a very low grade coal, possesses high moisture, low carbon content, high moisture, produces less heat. So therefore, peat is a low grade coal. Peat is a low grade coal. And second one is, that is lignite. Lignite also a low grade coal. It is considered as a brown coal. It is very soft. Lignite can be considered as a brown coal. It is a soft and it possesses less carbon and high content of high percentage of moisture. So naturally produces less heat. So it is also low grade. So both lignite and peat are the low grade coal. These lignite coal mines can be identified in Tamil Nadu state. Lignite coal mines can be identified in Tamil Nadu state. And third one is bituminous. Yes, it is a high grade coal and it will be used in the commercial purpose. Commercial use. This coal maximum will be used in commercial mines and it will be used for smelting the iron. Smelting the iron furnaces. Bituminous, high grade, as well as the best one is anthracite coal. So high content of carbon and less moisture, so it produces more heat and light. So it will be naturally these two will be high grade quality of coal will be used in metallurgical industries. So these are the four types of coal. If we take in India, look at the map here, you can find some of the important coal mines. There are various coal mines located different parts of the India. Number one is Neyveli coal mines. Neyveli coal mines. Neyveli coal mines located in Tamil Nadu state. Next, Singareni. Singareni coal mines located in Andhra Pradesh. Next, Talcher. Talcher coal mines located in Orissa. Talcher. Next, Korba. Korba coal mines located in Chhattisgarh. Singrauli coal mines located in Madhya Pradesh. Bokaro, Bihar. Jeria, Jharkhand. Raniganj, West Bengal. Moran Hogresen, Assam. So these are all the various coal mines which are located in different parts of the country. Important coal mines in the country. Important coal mines in the country is, number one is Neyveli coal mine, Singareni, Talcher, Korba, Singrauli, Bokaro, Jeria, Raniganj, Moran Hogresen, Makum. These are all the important coal mines located in India. Important coal mines located in India. This map point is very important, children. Important coal mines in India. Number one is Neyveli. Number two is Singareni. You have to remember the coal mine and state where it is located. So Neyveli coal mines in Tamil Nadu state. Singareni coal mines in Andhra Pradesh. Talcher coal mines in Orissa. Korba coal mine in Chhattisgarh. Singrauli coal mine in Madhya Pradesh. Bokaro coal mines, Bihar. Jeria coal mines, Jharkhand, and Raniganj in West Bengal. These are the important coal mines in the country. Okay, so one of the best examples. This coal is best example for fossil fuel. You can say that fossil fuel, coal. Next one is second one is petroleum. Petroleum. Petro means rock. Oleum means oil. So petroleum means rock oil, or you can say stone oil. It is also another source of fossil fuel which possesses heat and light for the vehicles, industries, particularly some of the synthetic industries, textile industries, chemical industries, oils, lubricants and various raw materials which provides for all the industrial field. Petroleum. So oil we have been extracted from the stone, petroleum. Petro means stone, oleum means oil. Petroleum means rock oil. So this oil also possesses energy, heat, which helps to run the industries. So naturally here, petroleum can be trapped on the porous and non-porous minerals, porous and non-porous rocks. This oil can be trapped in the formation of sedimentary rocks. You can extract the oil from these sedimentary rocks. For example, if you take a gas is a light material which will be above the oil. So maximum in India, if you take petroleum, 63% of oil which comes from Mumbai High. 63% of oil which comes from Mumbai High. And 18% comes from Digboy. Digboy is the oldest oil refinery in the country. It is in Assam. Digboy is the oldest oil refinery in the country. It produces alone 18%. The rest is 16% which comes from all the delta regions. Okay, 16% from Gujarat. To take Kalol. Gujarat, Kalol, and other like delta regions like Krishna, Kaveri, Godavari belt also can be trap these oils. These are the major oil fields in the country. Mumbai High, Digboy High, and Gujarat, Assam, Mumbai. Important oil fields in the country. Is it clear, children?